Daldy, and I work for the Livingston Parish Library. I'm here at the Denham Springs-Walker Branch, and today I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous wreath. It's actually, I think it looks like a giant poinsettia, but you can put it inside your house or outside. It's made of book pages, and we're going to help you put a little bling in your holiday. Hopefully everybody's getting in the holiday spirit. I know I am, because I'm ready to leave this old year behind and get on board with the new year. So let's have a little fun here. I'm going to show you how easy this is to do. It's made of book pages, and so you need to find an old book that you are perfectly willing to release and let go of and turn into something beautiful. I used an old a book on dream interpretation from 1962, so it was a good time to repurpose it into something else. So the first thing you have to do is make a lot of cones. I have about 60 cones in this one, and I used a really old book that I didn't care about anymore. I want to show you the easiest way to cut the pages out of your book. Make sure, like I said, that it's not something that's valuable to anybody. And what you want to do is get a nice metal-edged straight edge, and I turn it this way because I'm right-handed, and I get a sharp knife, and I just leave a little gap. I put it as close to the center as I can, and I go along that straight edge, and I go through several pages at once. And as you see, you end up with quite a few pages at once. That makes your work go a little faster if you're cutting up more pages than you need at one time. So, nice sharp knife, straight edge, old book, and you're ready to start making your cones. So, let me show you how you do that. It's real easy. I use tape, and then I staple the end of it so it's going to lay nice and flat whenever I start gluing it. It's going to be, see, these have the points on the outside. The points are going to be at the back of your wreath. So you start with the flat edge near you, the long flat edge near you, and you're going to take the small flat edge and just roll it up so that the corner is at the point. Now you want to take a piece of tape, hold it shut. You're halfway there. Pinch it, staple the end. Staple about 1.5 inches from the end, because that's the part you're going to glue down, okay? You're going to make a bunch of those. So, putting on my pages here. Get another one, roll it up. Whatever works for you, whatever way you find comfortable when you start rolling these things up. Taping it kind of holds it in place, and then stapling it. That stabilizes it so that when you're ready to, and you also want to staple it so that the point is kind of in the middle there. So you staple it to get it just the way you want it when you start gluing it down. So now that you've seen how I've done that, I'll do one more just so you can get the hang of it. You can go back and watch it again. Roll it up, tape, and staple. Now, once again, I said I needed about 60 of these. Well, lucky for you, I made those in advance. So, now that you know how to do those, we're going to put that aside, and we're going to start with the fun part. That's not fun. That's kind of fun, too. But it's really fun gluing it down. I started with a cardboard. You can leave it as a square, but just in case you're afraid, you see this thing goes way over all the sides, so you're not really going to have any showing. But in case it bothers you and you want to make a circle out of it, you can simply cut off the corners of your square. Get you some nice sharp scissors. Or you can go back to your little knife, and you have a little, I actually used a circle behind that, and then afterwards I realized that's not necessary. So you have your square. Now there's something I'm going to show you. If you could see the back of this one, the way I hang it, I take my hot glue gun. These are pull tabs. This is going to be on the back. You can use it from a soda can. These happen to be off of my cat food cans. So you take your hot glue gun, you put a little glob here, and you lay it down, and you put a little glob on top of it. Do the same thing over here. This is going to it's going to be what you hang it from. That little glob there. There you go. It's going to look something like that when you're done. Now, they start out flat, but I bent mine at an angle so it would be easy to get the, uh-oh, it turned. There we go. I wanted it to be easy to get the ribbon in it whenever I was ready to hang it. You run ribbon across the back of it. So I bent mine out with some pliers before I glued it down. So you use pull tabs to make your hangers in back. And if you want to do that it's easier to do that before you put the paper on because you have a flat surface to work on. If you wait until after the paper's there, you risk bending your paper and you don't want to do that. So now you take a pencil. Now I used a compass, but if you don't have a compass handy, you can simply use, I'm looking for my ruler. Got it. If you don't have a compass handy, you can use a jar or a plate or something like that. You want the center, I'm going to go ahead and mark the center in this one. This one is about 11 and a half, about 11 and a half this way. Okay, so here's my center point right there. You want a 4-inch circle and an 8-inch circle, and that's going to be your guide to glue all your cones down. I had a compass handy, so I just measured about 2 inches out. And drew my circle that way. There's my 4-inch circle. And then for my 8-inch circle, went a little further out. Expanded my compass a little bit. And drew an 8-inch circle. Oop. Now, without measuring it, you kind of want to mark the top, the bottom, and either side. Because you kind of want to make sure your cones get evenly spaced in there. So, if you can see it, it's a very faint circle, but that's going to be the guidelines for gluing the cones down. Now, you want to have plenty of glue sticks handy because you'll go through several of them doing this. Alright, now that you've got your circles drawn, you're ready to start gluing your cones down. I have a whole bag full down here, and I've got plenty of glue sticks handy because you're going to go through a few of them. Now I do have some rubber gloves here because it's nice to not burn your fingers, and sometimes that's what hot glue does. So I'm going to start with the outer edge. I'm going to put one on each one of my four points of the compass here that I've drawn. And you're going to glue it right where the staple is. You see right there? Points on the bottom, the staple goes on the line. This is not an exact science. This one, you can mess it up a lot and it still comes out beautiful. But just you're aiming to put the staple on the line that you drew. Okay? There you go. I've got 4 of them down there. Now, I can actually I'm going to remove that one for a minute because it's in my way. You can kind of draw, you can put glue down and do 2 or 3 at a time. Let me get some more out down here. And while the glue's hot, we're going to put them close, fairly close together, but next to one another on the line. There, I got 4 there. More glue. Believe it or not, that glue heats that staple up pretty quick. The staple gets warm under your fingers. Not warm enough to burn you, but you know it's still working whenever the glue is still hot. All right, ta-da! You see there? I got 1/4 of the first layer already down. It goes pretty quick. It's really a lot of fun. Do you ever notice when you start using your hot glue gun, you suddenly are looking for all kind of projects? What else can I use this on? You get into it. All right, we're almost at the halfway point with our first ring. Now I'll tell you, I painted the one that we used for our sample up there. I painted it gold, and I decided I wanted a kind of a random look. So instead of painting it gold after I was finished, I painted the cones gold individually, just lightly dusting them with gold paint. And it was a real nice look. But I tell you, now that it's all said and done, I think it would have been a really pretty look if I'd have just put a light layer of gold paint on it after I finished the whole thing. So that's entirely up to you. If you want to put gold paint on yours, you can. You can leave the gold. You're going to see how this one looks with no paint at all, and it's still quite wonderful. And then if you want to paint it with the random gold, or if you want to paint it silver, or if you want to paint it after you get done with it, all of that is the sort of thing that makes it individually yours. Like I said, it takes about 60 of the cones, more or less. If you want yours fuller, if you want more cones in it, you might use up to 70 or 80, or you could make it smaller. I'll tell you, funny, after I did this one, I saw where somebody made one of these out of Post-it notes, and it was about that big, in bright colors. It was really cute. So you can take this idea and run with it, and do whatever you'd like to with yours. I think we might need a little extra glue on these first ones. What happened? Oh, that's the ones I just set up there. Okay. Now I'll tell you what also I did on mine. I decided to stabilize it after I got done. I went behind myself and I put a layer of glue on the outside just to make them a little more stable. We're not going to do this on this one because it's not necessary, but it just holds them in place a little more firmly. Almost done with the first layer. This is moving right along. Let me get some more of these up here. Pardon me. All right, here we are. Almost done. All right, so the first row is done, and now we're going to go. There's a second row, and then the middle one is the center that we're going to put in, and then after that is the blank. So I'm going to put a layer of glue kind of on top of the ends of the other ones. You're not going to end up with as many because it's a smaller circle, but you're still going to glue them right down there. You see, their points are going to come right about to they're about 1.5 inches in closer. So their points are going to be in closer than the first row. More glue. You're using your inner circle now for a guide. We're almost through with the second layer, and the third one is the last one before we get to the fun part. I think this part's fun, but it's even more fun when you start gluing the ornaments in the middle and get the bling bling going. Second layer finished. All right. Uh-oh. Let me glue one with this one. There we go. Got that one glued down. All right, we are now down to the final center circle. I'm gonna put some glue down here, and we're gonna put some more cones in. We're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, I think this part's a lot of fun. Now you want your point to be right in the center, okay? And what you're going to do is put it anywhere where you feel like you need, where you see there's a gap, or where you think you need a little extra fill in. We're just going to keep putting them where we see the need is, because we want it to look really full. I haven't been counting cones, but I think they're probably up to 40 or 50 by now. And like I said, everywhere I see that there might be a sort of a gap, I'm going to put one. We're really close to being able to put the gold stuff in the middle. And that's like the final touch. Another glue stick. Yeah, you go through some glue sticks. I think I used, what, 4 or 5 already? But that's okay. They're pretty cheap. You know me, the frugal craft lady. All right, the inner circle is just about finished. We are getting there. And the rubber gloves helped. There's a couple times where I would have been right on my skin, and instead it was on the glove. So I recommend keeping the hot stuff off your fingers. Most of us have rubber gloves these days. Who'd have thunk it, huh? Now, if you want to paint your wreath with some gold paint, I would probably do it before I put the gold ornaments on the center, because they don't really need gold paint. They're already gold and shiny, and the paint might actually be duller than the bling. So remember, if you're going to use a spray can of paint, shake it and 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 shake it until you think it just doesn't need shaking anymore. Shake it another minute. Because if you try to spray paint and you haven't shaken it, the pigment doesn't mix up with the thinner inside of it. So you want to shake your spray can a long time when you're going to use spray paint. All right, I think that I have enough cones on here. I like it. I like it. And it's like a little bird's nest right in the middle there. That's where we're going to put the pretty stuff. Let me get rid of these extra cones here. My paper, oops, excuse me. Now I'm going to start putting, what I have here, if you can see, let me move it over. I am using, recognize this, Mardi Gras beads, gold Mardi Gras beads, and I'm cutting the beads off. I'm going to put that in the center. Actually, I guess you could leave some of them on the string, because that's going to get kind of covered with the other stuff. So we're going to put some hot glue right in the middle here. Like I said, now would be the time to spray paint it if you want to. And then we're going to come back and glue some Mardi Gras beads in here. This first batch is just going to be, it's just going to kind of fill up some space. Put a few, let's see, I have some loose ones here. Well, let me cut a few out. Put them in there. Make sure they're glued down. Now, I bought a little can of, a little jar, see, $1, the sign's still on there. A little jar of little tiny gold ornaments, and I'm going to put them down in the middle here. Actually, I'm going to put glue on them and drop them in the middle. Just make sure it's stuck to something in there. I've got a few more loose beads. You want to save some of your small beads to put on the outside. All right, now I'm starting to glue the bling in the middle here. I've got a few. I use Mardi Gras beads to fill it up a little bit. You just put a little glob of glue on it and stick it where you want it. I've got some little tiny ornaments that I got at the dollar store, and they were pretty cheap. I got a whole can for $1, and I'm filling up with some of the smaller ones. Now I've got a few that are medium small, and we want to make room for them to go in there. They're a variety of gold bling. This one looks like it's got glitter on it. This one's got nice facets on it. And we put those around and about, kind of random. Let's put another, oh, I like this one. We'll put this one over here where it can be seen. And now we're just kind of filling in the holes here a little bit. Anywhere that looks like it still needs something, we're going to drop either a Mardi Gras bead. You might have to pull off these strands of hot glue when you're done, but that's okay. Anybody that's used hot glue knows that trick. And, oh, let's put another one of these in here. Where shall we put it? Another glue stick. think? We need one more? Never can have too much gold. Gold is good. We'll put this one over here. And a couple more little ones just to fill the gaps there. Now, when you're doing yours, just use your own judgment. Put it where you want it. Make sure it looks nice and shiny when you're done. You can back off and look and see if there's any gaps in it. And we are done. All you have to do now is tie a ribbon between the two tabs in back, and you're ready to hang it. Well, now that we're through gluing all of our fancy stuff in the center, you are ready to hang your wreath. It's all done. I wanted to show you the difference between the one that got painted and the one that didn't get painted. And it's up to you as if you like the natural look or if you want to put the gold spray paint on it. But now it's ready to hang. And it's just gorgeous on the wall. So I hope you enjoy yours. I hope you enjoy your holidays and have a wonderful season. And remember to stay safe and stay happy and keep reading.